Okay, time for episode 9, Genesis, part 1. This is where I talk about when I was a kid, when I was younger. I'm going to talk about the time I saw a flying saucer in Oklahoma. I know that sounds unbelievable that I was in Oklahoma, but I was. The unbelievable part is I'm a Texas Longhorn fan, and Oklahoma is our arch enemy. They're the Sooners. Hate them with a passion. But anyway, I wound up there on my sophomore year in high school. My other episodes I talked about when I was younger, I was in a all Mexican Spanish speaking school. We moved to Oklahoma, and the weird thing about going to Oklahoma was the classroom, the students kind of looked the same, but they all looked Mexican, but none of them spoke Spanish. It was very surreal. But oh well, this is a bunch of Indians. I mean, nowadays you call them Native Americans. Back then it was just Indians. Now the common term is Native American. But anyway, once I moved over there, you want to make friends, and because I was used to Mexican Americans, the Indians, they kind of looked like them, so I started hanging around with them, and wound up making friends with this one guy. We became great friends, hung around together all the time. His name was Cornell Pee Wee Wardy. Fine Indian name, just like Gilberto Russell is a fine Mexican name. So it's kind of unusual, but somehow we hit it together and we started hanging around. And I'll get to the flying saucer in a minute, but we started hanging around and doing all kinds of stuff together. His dad owned a cleaners, and I used to go after school and work there. Now I'd work there for free. Only reason I go work up there is because his dad owned it, and he had to work there. And I figured if I helped, the sooner he got down, the sooner we go out and play, right? And I gotta tell you, Cornell, if you ever watch this, Cornell, your daddy stiffed me. He never paid me a penny. I'm just kidding. I mean, his dad was great to me. I mean, he treated me like one of the family. In fact, he set up a room in the garage. They had a 2-car garage, and what he did was he put a pool table there, and he put a ping pong table there, and he bought a jukebox. And he sent me and Cornell to the record store and just told us to buy whatever records we wanted to put them in the jukebox. So we did. And that's what we used to do a lot of. We shoot a lot of pool, a lot of ping pong ball, play music. It was awesome. It spent a lot of time there. A lot of time. We hung around together all the time. Anyway, one of the things Cornell did, and the only reason I actually hung around with him, because I really didn't like him at all, really, not really, but he had a car. And he used to do Little League umpire games, right? He used to do his Little League umpire games, and I would go there, and I would watch the games, and after the games, we'd go out right in his car and see what trouble we could get into, and just do the kid stuff, So anyway, one time I was in there waiting for him to get through with the game, and I'm sitting there, and I hear this humming sound, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And he starts getting louder and louder, and pretty soon it's getting pretty loud, and I'm kind of looking around, and everybody that's sitting in the stands, they're looking around too, like, what the hell is that? What does that sound? And finally, I look up like this, and there's a flying saucer right above us. I ain't lying. A flying saucer. And everybody's looking at this thing, and we're like, holy shit, a fucking flying saucer above us. And all of a sudden, he's kind of humming, because that's what we were hearing was the flying saucer, and he goes, and it stops humming. And it starts coming down, floating, and it lands in the middle of the diamond on the baseball field, and we're like, whoa! And this thing is about this big, you know, and it's red, right? And we're like, can't believe our eyes that this thing just landed here. And this kids show up, they're running, it's ours, and you know, Cornell goes and grabs it and gives it to him, and kids take off, and we're like, whoa, because for a second, when it's up in the air, you don't have perspective, you don't know how big the stupid thing is, right? You just see a flying saucer, and then when it starts coming down, that's when you're going, whoa, wait a minute, it's actually kind of tiny. And it was about this big, and it was one of those toys that they buy that have like some kind of fuel. It's got a motor in it, it's got a propeller in it, and you fill it up with fuel, and then you just turn it on and turn it loose, and you can't control it. You couldn't control it back then. It just flies, and wherever the wind takes it, that's where it goes. So anyway, the kids took it. A few minutes later, here's that buzzing sound. It comes back. It lands on the outfield this time because the wind hasn't changed much. So Cornell gives it back to them. They take off. A few minutes later, here it comes again. Lands in the diamond. Cornell goes over there, gets the flying saucer, and says, "Here." Shows up one more time. He's not getting it back. So, and we didn't see it. But anyway, I can honestly say I actually saw a flying saucer. Me and Cornell did. It was pretty crazy. There was some crazy times. A weird thing that happened, another thing that happened was the very last game of the season. I was there with him, and this kid had a foul ball and knocked his headlight out of his car. I was like, this is stupid. The very last game of the season, that's crazy. Another thing we did was, because we were, you know, I was there a year and a half, so by this time I might have been a junior. We decided we wanted to get some beer. So we parked the car by this like a 7-Eleven store. So I go outside, and decided since he's got the car, I'll be the guy that talks to an adult, see if they can give me some beer. So this car pulls over. So I go up to the car, and the guy comes out, and I go, "Excuse me, sir, can you buy me some beer?" And the guy looks at me, he says, "Sure." And he reaches in, pulls out his wallet, and he flips it open and says, "How much you want?" And when he flips it open, there's a badge there. Of all the people for me to pick, I picked a cop. First time I ever tried it, I picked a cop. And he goes, "How much you want?" And I went, "I don't think I want any more." And he goes, "Are you sure?" And I go, "Yes, sir, I'm sure." He says, "You going to go home?" I go, "Yes, sir, I'm going to go home." Took off, never tried that stupid shit again. That was insane. Another thing we did one time was we had a couple of girls, and you know, we're trying to make points with these girls, and one of the girls wanted to learn how to drive the car, so Cornell decided that he was going to let her drive the car, to teach her how to drive the car. So we're going on the outside of town, these small roads and stuff, and she is a horrible, horrible driver. I mean, she is horrible. She's like all over the place. And there's a bridge up ahead. She went across the bridge, she made it, but she missed it by this much, man. If we went by the bridge, I was like, because I thought for sure she was going to hit it. I thought for sure she was going to hit it. I was like, my God. And then all of a sudden, after we passed the bridge, we hear this sirens, and there's a cop behind us, right? So this cop comes behind us, and he pulls us over. The girl pulls over, and she's all freaked out and stuff. And the cop, I'll never forget the cop's words as he gets to the car. He goes up to the girl and looks at her and says, "Show me your driver's license that you don't have." And she's like, "Yeah, I don't have a driver's license." And we're all like, "Oh." And that cop chewed us guys out, said, "Are you guys crazy? She almost killed you guys. Did you see how close she came to that bridge? Why are you guys letting her drive? Are you guys insane? Blah, 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 blah." We're like, sorry. So anyway, she got a ticket, and Cornell got a ticket too. You know, it's crazy times. You know, at his house, he had, Cornell had, I think he had about 4 or 5 brothers. Can't remember him too well. I mostly hung around with him right now. I can't think of, what I can think of is Stanton. And the reason I can think of Stanton is because Stanton was a really nice guy. I liked him, but he would just following the wrong path. Even though he was a really nice guy, he was following the wrong path. He was starting to get in trouble. So anyway, they wound up putting him in like a place for kids that are misbehaving, right? So then one time we went up to go visit him, and he was, I think he was younger than Cornell. So he must have been in the ninth grade, 9th or 10th grade. Yeah, probably the 9th grade. But anyway, we went to go visit him at this place where they were keeping him, right, for guys that misbehave. Now, I'll never forget, because now I wanted to see him and talk to him, but when we walked in there, they had a jukebox there, and they were playing this song. It's a Beatles song, the Ballad of Yoko and Ono. And they say, like, where things are going, they're going to take me away, towards the words in the song. And it was like, as I walked in there, the thing was blaring, and I thought to myself, I said, wow, this is kind of appropriate in a way, you know. But every time I hear that song, ever since then, this is back in the 60s. Every time I hear that song, it takes me right back to that place when I see him. I haven't heard, I haven't followed him. I don't know whatever happened to Stan. I hope everything was okay. I hope he snapped out of it. But, you know, I mean, I used to get in trouble myself, and I kind of come out of it. But that's part of life sometimes. Sometimes you do stupid shit, you know. Hopefully he's not so stupid that you ruin yourself forever, but I hope he did okay. Another crazy thing we did, we used to hang around with him, was they lived in the corner, and across the street was a big park with a lake, right? And one of the shocks of going to Oklahoma, besides people not speaking Spanish, was the weather. Because it got cold up there. I'm talking cold. They got snow and everything. And we got snow in El Paso, but barely. A little dusty. You hardly ever got snow there. But Oklahoma used to get a bunch of snow up there. And it would get really cold, below freezing on a regular basis. Anyway, across the street they had this pond, and it would freeze over in the wintertime, right? And one time they were having a party at the house with a lot of kids there, and me and Cornell, we decided to get one of the girls and drag her out to the lake for the fun of it. We talked about it. We decided we're going to drag her out there, and I grabbed her arm and her leg. Once we get out there, we walked out on the lake. It's just frozen, right? It's frozen. We walk out in the lake, and I got her arm, her leg. He got arm, her leg. And we go 1, 2, 3, and we just chunk her on her ass on the ice. And she spins, slides all the way down. It was just fun to watch, and we got a big kick out of it. So she come back, she's cussing us out and stuff. So we're like, okay, that was fun. Let's do it again. So we went back again. Decided to get another girl, but this girl was taller. It was a tall Indian girl, almost as tall as me and Cornell. You know, and me and him pretty tall. You know, I was like 6 foot, close to 6 foot. So was Cornell. And anyway, we went and got this other girl. So we go out there, drag her ass out there, and we got her by the arms. We walk out in the lake. We're on top of the ice. We go 1, 2, 3, ice breaks. We go into the water. Luckily, it wasn't that deep where we were standing. We were only about waist deep in water, but that poor girl, since we had her by arms and legs, she fell in and went underwater. We pulled her out, and it's freezing cold. We threw her off to the side, you know, off on the ice. You know, she stood up, and we crawled out, and she's about ready to die from being cold and stuff. And we took her home, and we're like, oh, we're going to get killed. I don't even remember what happened to us. My mind must have blanked it all out, but that's what you do when you're kids. You do stupid stuff. Anyway, there was some really good times. Really good times. I didn't even mind working in the laundry. I learned a lot. They had this 2 switches, because you put the clothes and press them. You would press them, and you had 2 different switches. You had to push both of them for the thing to come down. That way you don't get your hand in there. If it's just one switch, you can catch your hand, but this way you catch your hand. And we'd do that for a few hours. And then we go party. Now, one of the reasons I'm doing this right now, like this is, I said it was episode 9, because I'm doing this to tell my kids, my grandkids, and after I die, they can come and see this. The reason I'm doing this now, because I was supposed to do 8. I jumped from 7 all the way to 9 because I had stuff set up already for 8, and in 7, I said I was going to finish a couple of stories, but I went looking for Cornell, right, to try to find him because I was thinking about him, and I found this guy. I don't know if it's him or not. You know, I'm gonna send him a copy of this. We'll send him this, and we'll send him this. But I found this guy, and he's a big shot now. I mean, he's a doctor with a degree in Indian science, in Scientology. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly what it is, but he's really big into Indian heritage and stuff. And the truth of the matter is, I went looking for him maybe 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and I found him, but I saw all the things he had accomplished. You can go on YouTube and see this guy. You just type in Cornell Pee Wee Wardy on YouTube and you'll see him. So I found him, and I said no, it can't be him. I mean, I just didn't think it would be him, you know, because Cornell was really ugly. This guy was ugly, but wasn't as ugly as Cornell. But anyway, fast forward 2 years, I did it again, and I looked at him, and I go, wait a minute. The first picture I saw him, he didn't have glasses on, and I saw another one he had a pair of glasses on, because he used to have glasses when we were in high school. And I said, wait a minute, it kind of does look like him. So I started reading up on him, and it says that he's from Lawton. I went, okay, that's where I was at, Lawton, Oklahoma. And he says that he's 64, which is, I'm going to be 64, so we're about the same age. So I said, I wonder if it's him. Well, if it is him, I'm going to give you a shout out. Tell you, hey, you did great. You did awesome. Man, I'm super proud of you. I've never in my wildest dreams would expect you to be where you're at now. So I'm really proud of you. So once I get done with this, I'm going to post it to on YouTube so my grandkids can see it. At the same time, I'm going to get a link. I'll send it to you. If it is you, I don't know, it might not be you, but I kind of find it hard to believe there's 2 Cornell Pee Wee Wardies in Lawton this age 64. So I imagine it's probably you. So I'm going to call it quits for now. Maybe go outside, see if I can spot another flying saucer. Have a great day.